Good evening. We are sorry to interrupt your regular programming for the special broadcast. As you may have already known, the Amadou family has not been a stranger to misfortune during the course of several weeks. Following the strange deaths of the children in that enclave, the family has been heading downhill. Soon after the death of the children, Awa, the children's mother, killed herself in mourning. Juletane, the second wife of Amadou, then burnt the third wife's face with hot oil. On the way back from taking Juletane to a mental institution, Amadou, the head of the family, died in a car accident. When Juletane learned about Amadou's death, she committed suicide by starving herself to death. Tonight we will be interviewing the family that survived these horrors. Also, here on set, we will be having Helene, the woman who received the diary of Juletane from a nurse at the mental institution. Also tonight, we will have a psychologist who will tell us how all of this could have been avoided. But now, we go to our senior correspondent in the field, Abdul Sanderson, as he interviews the aunt and uncle of Amadou.
Thank you, Ernesto. Here is reporting from North Africa, Morocco, on the Amadou family tragedy. And here we have his uncle and his auntie, and we shall be see if we can get some questions from them. Uncle and his auntie, which he lived with for some time. Let's go there. Here we have the auntie and uncle of Amadou, and we're going to get an interview, get a little word from them, an insight of what happened in the family. I'm told that you're Amadou's uncle, and your name is?
Uncle Nado.
Uncle Nado. Okay, Uncle Nado. What are your views on your family's tragedy?
Juletane from the start was a nuisance to the family. She was a foreigner, an alien to our family. She came in, no one wanted her from the start. She was completely nothing. She was like the dot that we walked on.
Okay,
She was the one who led Awa to kill herself because she killed the children. She killed the children.
So you believe that she killed the children?
She killed the children. I know, because she was barren and she could not satisfy her husband.
Don't you believe that she come from a different country, a different culture, had something to do with this tragedy?
No, not at all. From the start, when they were coming to Africa, he told her that he was married. From the start, she could have gone back to wherever she come from, but she didn't. She knew what she wanted. She knew what she was getting into. She didn't go back.
Okay, we have the views on Mama's uncle's views.
Thank you, Abdul. Tonight here with us we have Helene Corken, the woman who was given Juletane's diary by a nurse from the mental institution. She will be telling us Juletane's side on these events, what were her thoughts and what caused her actions. Welcome, Helene Corken. Look beautiful tonight.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here.
You may have a seat. So, Miss Corken, what were the events that led you to come across Juletane's diary?
One day, I was packing my things since I had gotten engaged and I was going to move in with my fiance, and I came across the diary while packing.
Amadou's uncle and aunts are not coherent about the thoughts that Juletane was told about Awa when Juletane and Amadou were in France. Did Amadou tell Juletane about his first wife when they were in France?
At no point did Amadou ever mention to Juletane that he had any wife back home.
Then how did Juletane find out about the first wife?
On their way back to Africa, while going on the ship, Juletane had overheard Amadou talking to a friend, at which point she heard her asking Amadou that she hoped he was taking a gift back home for Awa.
So what were her thoughts about the other wife?
She was sickened at the thought of him having another wife, since he had told her that she was the only woman he ever loved.
So to you, did Mamadou tricked Juletane in any way?
I believed he did, because if he would have told her that he was married, she probably would have thought about it twice.
I see. So when did Juletane first become mentally unstable?
Juletane first became unstable when she realized that Mamadou was spending more time with Awa than with her.
Though Juletane was mentally unstable for a while, she did not do anything said crazy as yet. What pushed Juletane over the brink to cause her to do all those things that she did?
Juletane was pushed over the brink when she discovered that the children had died.
And what did Juletane have to say about the death of these children and the death and the suicide of her co-wife Awa?
Juletane was saddened by Awa's suicide, and at the mental institution she realized that she was the cause of the children's death.
How was she the cause of the children's death?
In her insanity, Juletane had poured some of her medication in the children's drink.
And Nade, the wife she had burnt with the hot oil?
Juletane had no resentment in burning her face with hot oil, since she wanted her to be scarred for life and to suffer what she had been suffering.
Juletane was really a deep thinker. And what were her thoughts about Juletane? Was she mad and crazy as her family states?
Juletane was madly in love, and she could not cope with her husband having other wives. She could not cope with the idea that the love was being shared among others.
So, to you, was she crazy? Like, was she born with this disease that made her that way? Or was she just a victim to certain circumstances?
Juletane was definitely a victim from the very beginning, since he had lied to her from the very moment they had met.
It was very interesting talking to you, Miss Corken. Now we will break for a few messages from our sponsors. When we'll come back, we'll have Dr. Musa Abduler, a psychologist, who will tell you how all of this could have been avoided.
I've now been given the opportunity to have an interview with Mamadou's auntie. That's good. And your name is?
Rodia.
Okay, Sister Rodia. So what are your views on your family's tragedy?
It was a sad day for the family. Even if my niece was crazy, I can't put all the blame on her. She came from a different country, and it was very hard for her to adapt to our way of life.
Why do you believe that it was so hard for her to adapt?
I believe that she was not told enough about our culture differences, and the more my nephew had more tension with his other wives, she became more ill.
So do you blame her for the deaths in your family?
No, no one is to be blamed. Only the Almighty knows when He is going to take us.
Thank you. Well, here's reporting from Africa, up in Morocco, and we have just gotten the point of view of Mamadou's auntie and uncle. Here's back to you in the studios.
Welcome back. Tonight we are talking about the Mamadou tragedy. Here with us we have Helene Corken, the woman who was given the diary of Juletane, the second wife of Mamadou. Also tonight and right now we'll be having Musa Abduler, a psychologist who will tell us how this tragedy could have been avoided. Welcome, Mr. Abduler. So, Mr. Abduler, how could this tragedy have been avoided?
Well, from what I have gathered, this is a very, very, very simple situation. Most people think that going into different cultures, like in the cultures in Africa or in the Middle East, in the polygamic cultures, they think it's difficult. But in this situation, it wasn't the matter of the other wives, in my opinion. It was more the problem was that she was lied to. Yes, I said it's line 2. It was the lion. Because from everything that I read and what I heard of the situation, she didn't have no problem with the other wives. She had a problem that Amadou withheld information from her from back in Paris. That was a major problem. That played a major role on her psychic. This is the main issue here. So for people, for outsiders who will be blaming the free wives, the third wives, I put no blame on the wives. People are just, we are human beings. We are just to snow, to desert, to Christianity, to Islam, to Hinduism. We adjust to all cultures.
So you had a problem with the lying of Amadou instead of the 3 wives?
It is not that I had a problem. The evidence is right there. She stated that she did not have a problem with the other wife. In many societies, including Belize society, there's the belief of what they call the sweetheart. So women live with men, with other women every day in every society. What women cannot take was the line to. Haven't you ever seen a woman gone crazy because she found out her man with another woman?
I have.
She gone crazy, yes. Well, so the problem is the lying. A woman would more accept that, okay, you know, it's like for you and St. Helen, you know that your husband-to-be has another girlfriend on the outside. You knowing that might be more easier for you to accept than you find out. But the day you find out this day, you want to go crazy. You understand?
That is true. When they're told, they accept it more easily than if they find out on their own.
In a polygamic culture, you are supposed to tell the wives or the previous wives that you're going to marry or get married to somebody else. So the problem was the lying. It played a major role. It's not me personally, but there's evidence there to support that it's the lying and not the fact that he had 3 wives. He could have had 10 wives. Look at Solomon, King Solomon. How many wives did he have?
A ton.
You see what I mean? Even history and the Bible tells you the same thing.
It was very interesting talking to you both. I'm glad to have you here on this show. Thank you very much.
Thank you for inviting us.
Thanks.
Well, it has been a very interesting night. We hope you'll tune in again. From us here at the George Price Center in Belmopan, we tell you good night.